am so excited to produce the bookend of our show tonight. We had Alexandra and her amazing mother stories of motherhood, and now we have her partner, Rick Wynn Herrera, and we are so excited to have him on the stage. It's all about the love and respect, so give it to him. Okay.
Odyssey, how y'all doing? All right. Um, Thank you for the opportunity just to be up here and share a piece of my world. Growing up in Brooklyn, New York, I wasn't around a lot of gay people. The environment in the projects just taught me to be machismo, and if we knew if you were gay, we just kept our distance. And it was wrong because even since I was young, deep down, it just felt wrong to be that way. And to be honest, in the beginning, I was so naive. I thought all gay people were psychics, and there's two reasons for that. There was two reasons for that. The first reason, when my mom was stressed out with the world, she would go see a guy named Pito, and Pito had these tarot cards, and this is when my mom needed like a message, a sign, because her life wasn't going right. And Pito would be there, pulling out the card, and he would say, Anna, I see a man in your life that's no good for you. You see, Ricky, that's your piece of shit father. Anytime my mom had a moment to throw dirt on my dad, she never missed. I'm 11 years old, right, and I'm watching Pito pulling out card after card, and they're having a blast, and I'm seeing them, and I'm hearing Pito go, girl, girl. And the second reason why I thought all gay people were psychics, every day at 7 p.m., my mom watched the news, and then there would be a segment where this guy, he was like the queen of astrology, and his name was Walter Mercado. And my mom would watch this man every day at 7 o'clock. And he was an astrologer, and he would give you messages about your sign. And my mom would be just glued to the TV. Now, Walter Mercado, he had these, like this long robes, and it was like shiny and glittery. And he had this blonde blow-dried hair. It was beautiful, and it was slicked back. And when he said your sign, it was so dramatic. He would say, Cancel, Pisces, Leo. And there was like smoke and stuff all around him. and my mom and sister would be on the couch like fiends, just excited and waited to hear this sign. And when he would give and deliver the sign and he would be done, he always end his sessions by saying that he wishes everyone y mucho, mucho amor, which means a lot of love. And it was beautiful. I can remember asking my mom, why did Pito and Walter, they sounded like girls? And she would just brush it off by saying, Ricky, because they can see the future. They psychics. No one taught me, what gay was. It was this forbidden thing to know and ask. And when I was 19 years old, I went to college in Buffalo. I wanted to get away from this bubble that I was in, the hood, family. And I wanted to experience life. I knew there was more outside. And when I was in college, I was taking acting classes. And everyone in these classes, man, was so talented and gay. I started getting jealous. I said, hold up. They got psychic powers. And they can sing and dance. This is messed up. And the more I was in these classes, I was getting comfortable being around gay people. It was breaking a lot of things that I kind of like was in front of me, this world. And I was getting more comfortable as I was just being in these classes. But I still had like these questions, right, that I had inside. And I was scared to ask them. because I didn't want to offend anyone and I didn't want to be, it be taken a wrong way. But that changed when I met my friend, Alex, and he was my first gay friend. And I met him when I was 26 years old. This was, of course, way after college. And we met at these spiritual men workshops in New York. And the classes in these workshops were being led by a spiritual teacher. And we was learning tools that we can use to better ourselves in life. And one of the biggest tools we was learning was using the mirror to embrace the person you see and giving it love and making that connection to be your friend. It was a powerful tool. And in these classes, man, it didn't matter if you was gay, he, she, they, dumb, alien. It didn't matter. We was just people looking for ways to better ourselves from the trauma that we had, whether it was insecurities, anger, trauma. And I was there for it was every 2 months. And that's where I met Alex. And it was one time, I think it was the third workshop in, we was hanging out afterwards, just talking, chatting. And he mentioned that he worked around my job. And I was like, that's like 3 blocks away. And we decided to plan a date just to get dinner and hang out. Now, the day of the date, I'm going to be honest, I was nervous because I was like, hold up. This is my first date, lunch, dinner with a gay man. But I'm not gay. So I started thinking, what if he used these psychic powers to convert me? Or better yet, what if he goes, my mom goes to Pito, and he pulls out a card and said, Anna, this card means yo, Ricky, gonna get the dicky. I stopped myself from thinking these stupid thoughts. And I still went to the dinner. And it was great. We was laughing, chatting, connecting, just like how we were in the workshops. I felt comfortable around him. And that's when I started thinking the questions that I always had. That's when I asked Alex. I said, hey, Alex, don't take this the wrong way. But, man, I feel comfortable to ask you this, so please, it's coming from a good place. I said, were you always gay, or was this something that happened over time? Alex told me that he always knew he was gay. He always knew he liked men, ever since he was young. But he hid that from his family and his mom for years. And I was like, was it tough to come out, easy to come out? He was like, no, man, coming out was one of the hardest things he had to do, especially to his mom. Because when he told her, she started crying. And he thought by telling her, he was going to get this relief, this freedom. And it was the opposite. Because when he would look in her eyes, and she's crying, it was like she lost her only son. I was around for the jokes in high school, where we cracked jokes on people who was maybe in the closet, just based on them walking or talking. But I wasn't around to see the pain. Not until Alex shared his story with me. I felt bad. Mainly because I didn't mean no harm with these jokes. I was the class clown. Look in the yearbook, I'm smiling. That was me. I'm the jokester. But who's to say that just because in that moment they was laughing with me, they wasn't home crying alone? Me and Alex, we started building our relationship, and we started getting closer. And we would hang out. We would shop together. And it was great. He would hook me up. This would be an outfit that he would pick. And my favorite moment, well, before I get to that, what I appreciate too with Alex in that moment he was sharing with me, because when he went to New York, That's where he found his safe space. That's where he found his community. That's where he embraced himself, and he had this love. And what I appreciate so much is that Alex gave me that same safe space to me, right? Where I could be myself, and I could remove the ignorance that I was taught. And my favorite moment in our friendship was when Alex invited me to his house. Man, I felt like I reached VIP level. I was like, oh shit, I'm climbing up the gayness right now with my friend. Right? And when I got to his house, he started giving me a tour. And I was excited. I was looking around, smiling. I was like, oh shit, nice. And then he started opening his room door. And I rushed in there, and the first thing I said, Alex, so this is where the anal sex happens? I was so nosy to learn about his life in this room. I was looking around, I was like, oh, Alex, that's the closet, right? Where you keep all your sex toys. Yeah. No, that's where I keep my clothes. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. But that bike, that's where you get freaky on, right? Yeah, that bike, you be doing some stuff on there, right? No, that's where I exercise. True. Man, I don't think you're really gay. Ricky, you want to find out? We both laughed, and man, we had a great time. And his friends came over too, and we was all laughing, connecting, just sharing stories, having a great time. I'm so thankful for the relationship with Alex. And he taught me many lessons, because it takes strength to stand up for yourself and to embrace who you are. And it takes courage to love yourself. And I just hope that one day we all can look in that mirror and embrace who we are and give it mucho, mucho